These rigs can currently be purchased for $299. Now, which would you rather have? IFS Trailrunner, IFS 2 Utron. Welcome back to Revolution XRC, and welcome to a special unboxing of these two IFS rigs from Element RC. Today I'm going to be doing a long overdue unboxing of the Element Enduro Trailrunner based on the IFS 1 platform and the Element Enduro Sport Edition IFS 2 Utron. As you can see, both of these IFS rigs are Toyota-ish inspired rigs, with this one based mostly off the 4Runner and this one based mostly off the FJ Cruiser. To kick it off, let's go with the long overdue unboxing of the Trailrunner first, and then we'll go into the Utron. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. Here on the front panel, here you see it's Element Enduro IFS Trailrunner. It's got the independent front suspension. This is the version 1 of this front suspension. Now you can see that it's got the 1.55 general grabber tires. Here on the side panel, take a look. Look at the top panel. Here on the top panel you can see what they show as far as features go on the Trailrunner, and basically what you've already seen before from other Element rigs. Notably, the thing that was new for this Trailrunner was the IFS suspension. So here they've got the IFS suspension cycling, showing that, and showing how that steering rack works for the version 1 of the IFS. Everything else was basically the same as the other Elements. Here it's got like a little outline of the IFS unit on the truck. On the bottom panel, just a little look at the rig itself. So you could set up the body in different ways. They give you option parts right here. You can run it with just the Lexan. You can run it with the provided bumper right here. Let me see if I can give you a good look at it. So different setups. The Trailrunner kind of gave you different ways to set up the looks of the rig. And full out armored up right there. And here you can see once again the 1.55 general grabbers. Alright, on the back, this is the back panel right here. Some trailing shots of the rig. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now the Trailrunner box becomes a dealership garage. So that's one nice thing about all the Element rigs. They come with a box that duels as a diorama. You can see in the back there, this is the original Element Enduro Sendero garage. Alright. So on the bottom here, we've got some of the plastic detail parts as well as some optional overdrive gears or underdrive, however you want to call it. Let's see, it's got a solid axle housing should you decide that you want to convert over, but you will still need the axles, or universals, sorry. Here's the roof rack up here, so some nice scale details. The remote's nothing you haven't seen before from the other Element rigs. So, your XP130 radio. This is pretty standard with the earlier Element Enduros. I believe the Utron comes with something different, but we'll take a look. We'll take a look at it later. We'll put this aside, but this is what is really familiar with any of you guys who own Element Enduro rigs. Alright, here it is, the Trailrunner. So this is how it comes in the box. Of course, you can change some of these things around with some of the scale parts in the bag. But you can see the IFS 1 suspension. And what people didn't like about the 1 suspension was it had geometry that was a little off. It had a little bump steer when cycling the suspension, as well as this big front skid plate that kind of sticks straight up. That was one of the downsides. And it also had 155 size tires, so they're about 4-inch 155. The Trailrunner also had a 155 wheel and tire setup, so the tire is about 4 inches or a little under 4. And these are 155 plastic beadlocks. Now they look pretty nice. I actually like them, and I actually like the tires too. These General Grabbers are some of the nicest looking 155 tires that I've seen. I like the width of them, and they perform okay once they're broken in. Take a little bit more of a look at this rig. So you can see these are plastic fenders. You can remove these. Also plastic scale door handles. You could also remove these as well. So what I like about these Element rigs, they have some nice hard plastic details that you can customize with. Pretty nice. This thing is definitely begging for some nice customs detail parts though, which I do have printed up. I don't know if I'll do it on this body. I actually have a clear body that will be going on this, and we'll also be doing the Night Customs IFS mod on this as well. Alright, so we take a look underneath. Very, very familiar. If you're familiar with the Enduro platform, it's pretty much the standard Enduro chassis. It's got the stealth transmission right here, and the 16-turn 5-slot reading motor that comes standard on all the Enduros. This one is using the newer, I think this is a Surpass Hobby ESC. It's not the original one that came with the Sendero and the Trailwalker, which was based off of a Hobby Wing, I think. This one's kind of based off of Surpass Hobby, I think, and I kind of like the other one better, but it doesn't matter because I don't use them anyway. I usually rip out the ESC and put my own in. And here you can see the IFS 1 setup right there. But other than that, it's pretty much mostly what you've seen before. It does come with a nice scale exhaust too. How about that? But I mean, despite the issues that the first IFS had, you can still drive pretty well with it. It wasn't too big of an issue for me when you're actually driving out there, but it also depends on you're going to drive, right? You do need a stronger servo if you are actually doing really tough crawling or have heavier wheels, but other than that, I mean, it's a really fun trail truck. I actually enjoyed it a lot. My Trailwalker was converted to an IFS 1 setup using the IFS kit. I'll put a link to the description in that series in my Trail Walker with IFS kit. But this is going to be a fun rig. Basically, I am going to shoot for turning this into a 1/10 scale of my 4Runner. So this is why I got this rig. I also think that the Trailrunner was one of Element RC's nicer bodies. Of course, my favorite one, or favorite scale looking one, is the Night Runner. This would be my second favorite scale one, but I could just have an affinity for Toyotas. The Sendero, I liked the cab only. I was okay with the bed, but you really had to paint it a different color. I didn't like the RTR color. This one's okay. The white's okay on this one. Not too bad. But the one thing I've come to learn about Element RC bodies, even though their RTR bodies may not look the best, after you do some work painting them up, they look awesome. So usually the RTR bodies come with a paint job that's just not flattering at all. But if you buy any of their clear bodies and paint it up yourself, they actually look pretty darn nice. The other thing that was new on the Trailrunner when this came out, it was the first to use these sliders which captured the body like this. The Sendero and the Trailwalker had the older sliders with the notches cut out, and those just tended to rip out if you tumble pretty often, which I did. I always kind of pushed my rigs to the limit as far as the scale rigs go. Also in the box were the instruction manual, a set of decals that you could use for the Trailrunner body, as well as the side mirrors right there. Alright, now let's take a look at the Utron. The Utron is based off their Sport Edition platform, where they had some changes to the platform overall as far as the transmission and the axles and the shocks as well. But it is also their budget platform. So they did do some changes to keep the costs lower, even with the changes or improvements that they've done by changing some metal parts to plastic and whatnot. So this is actually the same price right now as the Trailrunner I just showed you. We'll go over more of that later. Alright, so here, front of the box, Utron. It's an IFS 2 rig. Take a look at the back. Oh, that's not good. That box is cut. Well, here's the back of the box. Now it looks like mine came damaged. I bought this from A-Main, so I'll have to see what I could do about that, because that's really a bummer. I really look forward to the boxes most of the time, and this kind of puts a damper on it, but we'll go ahead for now. I really want this box replaced though. But anyway, just showing you some of the option parts that you can get for this rig. You can kind of see a picture of the IFS 2 flexing right there. This bottom panel right here just shows some of the features of the body. Shows new Pinseeker tires. Over on this panel right here, we basically just see the new parts from Element RC, mainly the IFS 2, as well as the Stealth XF transmission. Now, the Stealth XF transmission you first saw on the Element Enduro Sendero SE. Basically, the transmission sits really low. It's part of the skid, and the motor is in the front or forward, in the forward position. So, some innovation for this rig. even with the low $299 price. Take a look at this panel here. And we'll go ahead and open it up. I definitely have to see if I can replace this box because that really bums me out. Here is the new decal sheet for the Utron. Some interesting decals here. Back here we got some spare parts. Didn't have as much of the plastic detail parts that were provided with the Trailrunner, I don't think, but let's take a look. We'll find out soon. So the manual is also in here as well. So this aside, let us free this rig up. No wonder it seemed like something was missing. There is still something in the box. Here we go. So this is the new radio that the Utron comes with. Now I believe, yeah, there it says it's a FlySky. So this is, I'm not sure what system this uses, but there's a chance that I could use it with some other FlySky rigs, depending on what it uses, like AHFDS I think it's called, or whatever it's ANT protocol. So I don't know which protocol it uses yet, but you know, I could potentially use this with some of my other rigs, all of which are running the FlySky GT5 or GT3C. And if you did not know, some of the SCX24s also use FlySky radios now. So, and I definitely prefer this over this. So here's the newer one, the older one. Definitely prefer this one. Wheel is nicer on this one though, but it's alright. Alright, what else is in there? Yeah, no other scale plastic details, just the radio in that box. So, I thought I was missing the radio for a second. Alright, so here is the Utron. Let me get this out of the way here. Utron, it's got a nice silver metallic color. I had actually thought it was gray from the look on the box. I didn't actually think it was metallic silver, so actually not bad. I kind of like the metallic silver look. Hard plastic grille, which is nice to see. I like hard plastic grills, it makes it look just so much better. This pillar is a little bit strange, it's a little bit big, but other than that, it's not too bad. So it's a pickup style. And it's nice that they painted the bed black. So they did some of the work for you. Here are the new pin seeker tires. These are 4.19 size, so class 1 size tires. These plastic bead locks right there. IFS 2. Ooh, look at that. I kind of like it, man. I kind of like it. The SE platform does come with plastic links. So this is kind of where some of the cost cutting was done to hit that $299 price point. Here's the new axles where you can actually put, I think the screws will hold like a brass weight inside or something like that. You can see that it's got disc brake or kind of scale details disc brakes right there. And here is one of the updates for the shocks. The shocks are now plastic for the SE version, but it's using these smaller springs right here, and they basically sit under the shock body. So, but yeah, the big thing was mainly just the IFS 2 and the Stealth XF. So let's take the body off. Alright, here we can see the layout for the Enduro SE with IFS 2. We keep the front fenders right here. You can see how the motor layout is a little different. The motor sits further forward and the transmission sits a little lower. Even the receiver box is a little different, just the top. The battery tray, which was up here, you can see right here, is now sitting back here because of this motor forward position. Now I wonder if you were to use something like an Outrunner, you might be able to move this battery back up there again. Who knows? These rock sliders are similar to the Trailrunner ones, a little different design, but the same capturing mechanism for the body. Now look at the newer shocks for the SE platform. The pivot balls are Delrin. The older ones were just regular plastic. What else is new here? But overall, the main thing is this guy. This is supposed to be an improvement over the old IFS. And it's also got the license by Camberg. So I like that. The arms look much more scale right there, if you can see. Try to give you a better look, but maybe lower. Turn the light a little bit. Yeah, if you can see right there, these arms are much more scale. But very, very cool. Cool platform. I'm excited to get this out for a run. Now I do plan to do some upgrades on this. If you did not know, the SE platform comes with bushings instead of bearings. So all those bushings will come right out and I will put bearings in. Along with the bearings, I will be probably doing a few other things. The links, I'm definitely going to swap the links. I do not want the plastic links right here. I mean, they'll work, but not really preferred. What is rattling around in here? Interesting. A little noisy. I'll have to figure out what that is. Sounds kind of strange. Anyway. Oh. Look at this nice way for you to plug in extra components for, I guess, lighting. So let's take a good look at this chassis compared to the Trailrunner chassis with IFS 1. Here's a closer look at the body first. Looks like I've got some paint issues right here, so I'll need to see if that can be taken care of, or I might just cut them off for the night customs parts, but we'll see. The windows are overlaid with decals right now, but you can clear them out and peel those off, I guess. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're clear underneath. Yep. You're gonna have to clear out the windows on your own. So it's painted silver, as you can see. And that, I mean, it's a decent looking body. It's better in person than I thought it would be. So, take a look at the chassis compared, both of them. Both of these rigs can currently be purchased for $299. Now, which would you rather have? The Element Enduro Trailrunner with the IFS 1 suspension, or the Element Enduro SE Utron with the IFS 2 suspension as well as the Stealth XF transmission? For me personally, I think the Trailrunner comes with a much nicer scale body. Unless you're a FJ cruiser fanatic and you just really have to have everything FJ, then the Utron is probably the choice for you. Now let's take a look at the differences between these two rigs, besides the obvious difference in IFS versions. Trailrunner radio, XP130. Utron radio, Fly Sky. Trailrunner body with clear windows, plastic scale details, and even more plastic scale details for you to kind of make this body in your own configuration. So you can kind of mix and match parts. So the Trailrunner does have the advantage in the body right here, just because it's got all these scale details as well as clear windows, etc. The Utron body, well, it's got the plastic grille, which is nice, and the rest of the body is just okay. It's all painted up pretty nice, I guess, except for some defects I have on mine, but otherwise the paint's alright. But the windows are not clear, they are painted in. You'll have to clear these out and take these decals off for the clear windows, or just go buy a clear body, which is probably a lot easier. But other than the grille and the rear taillights, there's really no hard plastic details on this body at all. Chassis. Here you can see the two different chassis. Now, I guess you can see from this that the Utron, well, actually I don't know if you can see it from this, but let's see if you can see it this way. The Utron has a longer wheelbase. So the Trailrunner is a 313 wheelbase. Can't remember what the Utron is, but it is longer than the 313 millimeter wheelbase of the Trailrunner. You can see here that the front, with the rear lined up, the front of the Utron sticks out just a little bit more. You can also see here the difference in IFS setup. Now the Utron does come with inner fenders, which is really nice. Of course, the obvious difference between IFS 1 and IFS 2. The IFS 2 looks much nicer. No bump steer. There's bump steer with this one. Also more clearance. The IFS 2 has more clearance from the skid to the ground than the IFS 1. Now right now it's apples and oranges because these are sub 4-inch tires and these are 4.19. So these tires are a little bit taller, so it's got even bigger advantage right now, but there is a difference in clearance for the skid of the IFS. The other difference, which is obvious, the trusty Stealth X transmission and the newer Stealth XF transmission. I still like the Stealth X transmission. The Stealth XF is really nice too. I actually haven't run it yet, but I've seen my friends and it runs pretty well. But it does give you a little bit of a challenge as to where you're going to put your battery. I do like my battery up here, but we'll see if I can start using smaller batteries and mounting it somewhere else, or just putting it there. What else? The Trailrunner comes with metal links. The Utron comes with plastic links. Right there. Now the Trailrunner does have the older Element Enduro axle housings, and the Utron has the newer ones with right there. One of the nice things about the Trailrunner, it does come with an extra solid axle housing, so if you ever wanted to replace the IFS on the Trailrunner with a solid axle, they already give you the housing for it. You just need to buy the universal. Alright, let's take a look at the two IFS setups from the bottom. Here's the Trailrunner, and here is the Utron. The Utron looks a lot more scale, a lot tougher. Definitely the arms of the suspension look a lot tougher than the IFS one. I really like the way that the skid integrates, the mid skid. Now the Trailrunner comes with the classic Element shocks, and these are fantastic shocks. One of my favorite shocks. Really like them. The SC come with these newer plastic shocks with the, I forget what are these are called, but the new spring setup, the mini springs right here. Now you can convert the older shocks to this setup. There are parts you can buy to convert to this setup, so that's not really big of an issue. I do prefer these older shocks all day. If I choose to convert it to the new mini springs, I can do so. I actually have the parts for it already. So Penseeker 4.19 tires, or the General Grabber 4-inch tires with 155. 155 wheels. These are 19s. So which one do you like better? I don't know. There's good and bad about both of them. I definitely like the IFS 2 better here. So definitely the IFS 2. I do like the IFS 2 a lot better than the IFS 1, but I've got like 4 or 5 IFS 1s now, and I've kind of gotten around the issues, or I just drive it really scale. Plus with the Knights Customs parts, it makes it a lot better. So it's not that much of an issue for me. So for $299, I don't know which one I would choose. I do like the rest of the parts on the Trailrunner better, like the shocks. I do like the shocks better. Stealth X transmission is still a fantastic transmission. It still works great. I have no problems with it at all. What else? The links, they're metal links, so definitely like the metal links better. What else? Oh, this does give you the overdrive gears for this one right here. I don't think this comes with the overdrive gears. I think you have to buy it separately. So there's that. What else? The SE does come with the nice inner fenders, but I also have a 3D printer, so I do print out Knight Customs printers or fenders as well. So I always have that option. And I think Element does sell inner fenders too, the Lexan ones. At least they did for the Sendero. I don't know if they sell it for the Trailrunner or if those will fit the Trailrunner as well. They may not. I'm not really sure. It's really tough one, guys. I don't know. For the same price, I do like these tires better. I do like the shocks better, as well as the links. On this one, I do like the IFS better for sure. That's definite bonus on this one. The transmission goes either way. I can go either way. I actually probably prefer the Stealth X transmission just because I've got so many parts that I can use with it already, and I just know how to lay it out. With this one, it's a little bit of a challenge because it takes up the spot where I usually have the battery, and you're a little bit, I guess, more limited to what you could probably use with it, or maybe not. Again, I'm not really sure about that yet, but this is kind of tried and true. It works. Body. For the body, I'd definitely go with this one. This one has more scale details included with it. It looks a little bit more proportional. Actually, it looks a lot more proportional than this one does. This one's just got this weird pillar thing going on that I can't unsee. The Night Customs part will kind of hide it. So that's my thinking, at least. But definitely prefer this one all day. Radio. Yeah, definitely the Fly Sky. So what do you guys think? What would your choice be for the exact same price? Would you go with the Trailrunner with the first version IFS? Or would you go with the Enduro SE with the IFS 2? Let me know in the comments. Alright, so leave your comments below on which one you'd rather have for $299. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates on both the Element Enduro Trailrunner and the Element Enduro Utron. I'll be doing a build series for both of them, and hopefully we'll come out with something looking good for both. Thanks for watching.